Put yourself in our place.
And I live in the Hillcrest neighborhood for 70 years. I've lived there. On the world at large, that I think is shameful, the levels that people will stoop to enrich themselves, money, greed, whatever, and just dismiss living things in human life. All of those chemicals and contamination and encroachment, it smothers us. It's literally killing us. And I just think it's shameful that human beings will stoop to any low level to make money and enrich themselves.
So you haven't walked in our shoes. You haven't been where we've been. You don't go through what we go through.
When my grandparents moved there in the 20s, there was no industry. It was just a vacant land. As a boy, I flew my kite at the end of Holbert Street across Mesa Bay Boulevard, where there is now industry built in storage tanks.
Desalination surface water intakes are a huge threat to marine life. The State Water Resources Control Board estimates that open ocean intakes used by coastal power plants in California kill 70 billion fish larvae and other marine life on an annual basis. Brine waste also poses a threat to marine life and water quality, as it contains dangerously high concentrations of salt and other minerals.
It will eliminate spending for better options. One of the things I started looking at is, why didn't we do this with fresh water options where they're less energy intense, less expensive, and they can be done sooner? I see a lot of fear-driven things to this solution, and now it's, well, by golly, if we don't do this now, we're going to be left with nothing. But there are options that we can do quicker, and really depressed about seeing how Hillcrest community has been handled throughout this.
It's becoming increasingly evident that there's no consistency or proper communication between City Council, between CC Water, between Kiewit.
People, especially young people, are already moving away from here in droves. They're not happy with the way that the city has invested. They don't want to live in a toxic waste zone. The faulty infrastructure needs to be a top priority. Part of that low-hanging fruit of large-scale rainwater harvesting, wastewater reuse, gray water reuse, the atmospheric catchment, curtailing industry use is also a viable option. But the state loan given for the desalination falls on the backs of residents is not fair. The median household income for Corpus Christi residents is $33,000 to $66,000, and that's if you have like a degree or like you're able to get to a higher paying job, which most people don't have. Citgo alone makes $305 million in 1 year, up to $8.9 billion in other years. Flint Hills, $2.5 billion. So the notion of, well, everyone is going to have to pay the higher water rates is not equitable when we look at billion-dollar industries to a simple resident.
How many people have got to suffer for somebody else's pocket?
And then I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, do I serve the port or do I serve the people?